Welcome students. Last time we learnt English Unit 1 first poem A Time to Believe. It was an inspiring poem. Now today we are going to start lesson number 2 Dick Whittington and his cat. So we shall read out the story and I will explain you the lesson. So we will start our lesson. Dick Whittington and his cat. There was once a poor boy called Dick Whittington who lived in a small village in the south of England. He had no proper home. Children, it shows that he was a very poor boy, for both his parents had died. Means nobody was there to take care of this child. He was unkindly treated by many of the villagers. Unkindly means very rudely or cruelly he was treated by the villagers. One day, Dick overheard someone say that the streets of London were paved with gold, and he decided that he would go there at once and pick his fortune up in gold pieces from the streets, for he thought people might treat him more kindly if he were rich. So young Dick set out to walk to London. In this paragraph, children, it is said that Dick overheard. Overheard means to hear someone talking. Somebody was conversating and he heard that. He heard saying that the streets of London, there he can find out the gold pieces. So he decided to pick up his fortune, means to try his luck, and he decided that if he goes to London and if he gets some gold, really he would become a rich person. And if he becomes rich, people will treat him very kindly. So Dick decided to go to London and he started walking towards London. He had not gone far when a man in a cart stopped and asked him if he was running away from home. One man saw him and he saw that this is a small child. The man thought that the child has lost or he is running away from his home. So the man inquired means asked. I have no home, Dick answered to that man. I am on my way to London to find my fortune. I am going to London myself, said the carter. Children, the carter told Dick that I am also going towards London. Jump up here beside me, we will journey together. The carter gave lift to Dick and he said that we both will go to London. They arrived in London just before nightfall, and the carter left Dick and made his way to an inn. Children, inn means his hotel or his room where the carter lived. He went towards that and he left Dick nearby the roadside. Poor Dick stood alone, looked around him in dismay. Dismay means disappointment, means he was very much worried. Where was all that fine gold? All he could see were dirty streets, lots of unfriendly people. He had nowhere to sleep, and in the end he spent the night in the corner of an alley. Students, Dick was very much alone and nobody was there on the road. He saw everywhere the streets were dirty, unfriendly people, and he had nowhere to sleep, and in the end he spent the night in the corner of an alley. Alley means a narrow passage or a narrow way between or behind the building. Children, mostly between the two buildings the backside area is kept dirty, so there Dick had to stay at night. He hoped he would come to no harm, and nothing he saw on the roads of London. No gold pieces, nothing was there. The next morning, Dick woke up, cold, miserable, and very hungry. He wandered around, begging for food. Children, Dick became hungry, and immediately in the morning he started begging and asking the people to give him food. But again and again people shouted at him, "Go away, you lazy fellow, be off with you," and aimed angry blows at his head. All the people treated him rudely, in a rude manner, and nobody helped the boy. At last he collapsed. Collapsed means he fallen down on the streets and lay there too weak to look further for food. By chance, Dick had fallen in front of a house belonging to a rich merchant called Mr. Fitzwarren. Children, the place where Dick had fallen down, the place was in front of the house of a rich merchant. His name was Mr. Fitzwarren. The cook was trying to drive Dick away. Drive means the cook means the person who was cooking the food in the house of Mr. Fitzwarren. He was driving away Dick. Driving away means he was telling Dick, "Get up from here and go away from this." In front of their door he was lying, so the cook was driving him away. When Mr. Fitzwarren returned home from inspecting his ships, he was a merchant. Fitzwarren was a merchant of ships. He came home. He saw the cook is there and the cook is driving away one small boy. He stopped and said to Dick, "Why don't you work if you need food?" "I would work," said Dick, "but I know nobody who will give me anything to do." Dick was very much in a miserable condition and he said, "No one is there to give me anything." "Take him into the kitchen," Mr. Fitzwarren ordered the cook. "Feed him first." Feed him means first give him some food to eat and then find some work for him. Mr. Fitzwarren told the cook that take this boy into our kitchen and ask him to help in your kitchen work. So Dick was given a home and a living. He had small corner of the attic to sleep. Attic means a very small room inside a pointed roof. Dick was given a very small room to live in the corner of the attic to sleep in, and his job was to help the cook with all the pots and pans in the kitchen. Dick's life should have been much better than before, but he still had two difficulties to face. Children, see, Dick has got food to eat, house also is there to stay, nothing is there to worry now in the cold weather, but still two difficulties were in front of little Dick. The first was that the attic he slept in was overrun by rats and mice. At night, they scampered all over. Scampered means ran here and there on his feet, everywhere. Scampered all over him and kept him awake. Awake means he could not sleep at night due to the rats and mice running on to his body. After a time, he solved this problem by saving the few pennies. Children, pennies means he was getting some money because he was working in the merchant's house. Mr. Fitzwarren's house, he was working, helping the cook, so merchant was giving him some money. So he saved some money and he was paid and buying himself a cat. From that money, he bought a cat for himself. Who bought a cat? Dick. In no time at all, the cat chased away all the rats and mice. Chased away means she eaten up and few of the mice ran away because the cat was now started living with Dick. And Dick was able to sleep peacefully now. See how he solved his problem by purchasing a cat. The other difficulty which was not so easy to overcome was the cook's bad temper. Children, the cook, she was always shouting, troubling Dick. She was sometimes hitting him. Bad temper means always in an angry mood. She shouted and screamed all day and would scold Dick and hit him with a wooden spoon, even when he was working as hard as he could. Now how to overcome this problem? Dick could not understand. Dick could not find any solution for this problem of the cook all the time shouting upon him and beating him, screaming upon him. One night, Dick decided he could stand it no more. Stand it no more means now it is high time. He cannot tolerate the cook troubling him so much, he cannot bear with this pain. Early the next morning, before the cook was up, he set out with his cat to seek his fortune elsewhere. Dick decided to leave this merchant's house in the night, and he set out. He took his cat also with him and started moving out of this merchant's house. The two of them walked as far as Holloway. Two of them means Dick and his cat. Children, Holloway is a place near London. On their way out of London, then Dick sat down on a stone to take rest. It was the 1st of November, All Saints' Day, and the church bells were ringing. As Dick sat and listened, it seemed they were ringing out a message for him. Children, the bells of the church were ringing. It was a very holy day. It was All Saints' Day. The bells were ringing and Dick was sitting on a stone. He was listening carefully to the ringing of the church bells. What did the bell say? Turn again, Whittington, thou worthy citizen, Lord Mayor of London. Children, I will tell you the meaning of this. Turn away, Whittington. Whittington is our name of the Dick. Dick Whittington, his name. The bells were as if telling him that you go back, little child. Thou worthy citizen. Thou means you. You are the worthy citizen, good citizen, and Lord Mayor of London. In future, you will be the Lord Mayor of London. Lord Mayor of London, said Dick. I should like to be Lord Mayor and ride in a fine coach. I can put up with a few scoldings from the cook if that is what is in store for me. Dick said, okay, if in future I would become Lord Mayor of London, I will go back to the merchant's home and I will get the scoldings from the cook. I will tolerate it. I will try to cope up with it. So Dick and his cat retrace their steps. Children, retrace means again they move back, returning back towards Mr. Fitzwarren's house. Luckily, they were able to slip back before they had been missed. All were sleeping and they came back secretly at the home. Now, Mr. Fitzwarren used to send ships far across the sea to trade with other countries. He would load a ship with goods for the captain and ship's crew to sell in a faraway places. Then they would bring back goods that could be sold at home. Mr. Fitzwarren's business was flourished and he used to send the goods with the captain and the ship. One day he called his household together. I am sending a ship to the African coast to trade. Where he was sending the ship? Mr. Fitzwarren was sending the ship to African coast for trading, for business. Would any one of you like to send something of yours on it? You can. Then share in the profits if the voyage is successful. Children, voyage means a long journey by sea. Children, by the sea, when you journey by the ship, it takes nearly about 3 to 6 months. So that long journey on the waterway is called as voyage. Mr. Fitzwarren said, who want to send something on the ship for the trade? And if it is sold out, you can share in the profit. Everyone produce something. Produce means everyone gave something on the ship to go for the business or go for the trade. Except Dick. Why? Because Dick had nothing to offer. He had nothing to give. He was a very poor child. Have you nothing of your own, Dick? Asked Mr. Fitzwarren kindly. And Dick replied, only my cat. Dick said, I have only my cat. Nothing is there with me to send on the ship for the trade. Then let your cat go on the ship, said Mr. Fitzwarren. His daughter Alice said, Dick loves his cat. Let him put something in for him. Children, Mr. Fitzwarren had a daughter. Her name was Alice. Alice said, Father, Dick loves his cat. Nothing is there for him. If he gives the cat, who is there for him? So, can I put something on behalf of Dick? But her father said, No, it must be of his, not something belonging to someone else. So Dick fetched his cat and said goodbye to it sadly. Children, Dick gave his cat onto the ship and said goodbye to the cat sadly. The captain of the ship was delighted. Delighted means very much happy to get the cat, for the cat was an excellent mouser. Children, the word mouser means an animal that catches the mice. So the captain was very much delighted, happy that very good the cat has come upon the ship. At least she could catch some of the mice on the ship. And so he had no trouble with rats and mice on the voyage. After some months, the ship arrived at a place on the African coast, Barbary. Barbary is the place near the African coast where people called Moors lived. Children, you know that most of the African countries still surrounded with the jungles and some tribes of people are living there. So Moors is one of the tribe of people living in Africa. The place is Barbary and people called there Moors. The captain sent a message to the king to say he had fine goods for sale. He was invited to the palace to show them. The message went to the king that the captain has come with some goods with the ship. So can he come to the palace to show them? While he was talking to the king and queen, some dishes of food were brought in. But almost immediately, rats and mice ran upon it. Before the captain's eyes ate all the food, the captain was astonished, surprised. Astonished means surprised, and asked if this was what normally happened? Alas, yes, came the reply. The country is suffering from plague of rats and mice and we cannot get rid of him. Get rid of them means no solution for this problem. The country is full of rats and mice and plague disease is going on which is spread through rats. I think I may have the answer on my ship, said the captain. The captain immediately replied the king that I have the answer for this and the answer is on my ship. He sent a message asking for Dick's cat to be brought to the palace. More food was laid out and rats and mice appeared as before. The cat immediately pounced upon. Pounced means sprang upon, attack onto the mice and rats and killing at least a dozen and the queen at least a dozen before they scattered. Everyone was delighted and the queen asked, What do you call this animal? The queen was very much surprised. She said, What do you call this animal? Puss is the name, she answers too, said the captain. And when the queen called, Puss, puss, the cat went over to her and purred. The queen was little alarmed at first. She had seen how fiercely the cat had attacked the rats and mice. But the captain told her not to be anxious. Puss is very friendly with the people, he said, and would soon rid your kingdom of rats and mice. The captain told the king and the queen that don't be frightened of this cat. She will do no harm to you. She will just catch the rats and mice and your kingdom will be soon free of this animal. I would give great wealth to own this animal, said the queen. The queen was very much fond of this animal. So the captain began bargaining and it was agreed that king would buy the whole cargo. Children, cargo means the goods which are kept into the ship. It is called as cargo. The king said, I will buy the cargo from Mr. Fitzwarren's ship and pay fine price for it. And for the cat alone, the king paid 10 times the sum again. Sum means whatever the ship is having the goods, the total of it multiplied by 10 he will give for the cat. Children, now the cat is sold to African Barbary king. Dick's cat has reached there and the king is ready to buy this cat 10 times the price of the goods. When the ship came back to the port of London, the captain showed Mr. Fitzwarren gold and jewels he had brought from the Barbary and told him the story of cat. The merchant sent for Dick. From now on, Dick, he said, we should all call you Mr. Whittington, for you are now a rich person, rich man. The captain told that the king has sent 10 times amount of the goods just for his cat. So now don't call him Dick. Start giving him respect and call him Mr. Whittington, because now he has become a rich man. Mr. Fitzwarren then paid him all the money the captain had received for the cat. From this time on, Dick worked with Mr. Fitzwarren and became successful merchant himself. Now Mr. Fitzwarren and Dick both were doing the business very successfully, and Dick also became a good merchant. He married Mr. Fitzwarren's daughter Alice, and 3 times he was elected Lord Mayor of London. Children, the church bells that day on the November morning, they were ringing, they were true. And he was also in time knighted by the king and became Sir Richard Whittington. 3 times he became Mayor of London. After that, he became Sir Richard Whittington. He was not only famous, but he was popular too. He always helped the poor with his money. Sometimes, when he was old, he would tell his grandchildren the story of his cat and how the bells of London called him back when he was only a poor boy. Turn again, Whittington, turn again, Whittington, thou worthy citizen, Lord Mayor of London, Lord Mayor of London. So, understood the story, children? Everybody understood this story? I hope so. You would have liked this story very much. Students, now note down the meanings. Overheard, to hear someone's conversation. In, accommodation. Dismay, disappointment. Alley, narrow passage behind the buildings. Collapsed, fell down. Scampered, ran here and there. Retraced, to go back. Voyage, long journey by sea. Attic, very small room. Overcome, succeed in dealing with a problem. Put up with, tolerate. Mouser, an animal that catches mice. Knighted, highly honored title. So note down these meanings in your notebook. Okay, students, now I have downloaded the textbook over here. So we will see the warming up section. Name the world famous personalities who reach the great heights from humble circumstances. Children, now we will look this first picture. Guess who is he? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was very poor child. He sold newspapers to add income to his family. But after he became a very great person. Abraham Lincoln. He was also belonged to a farmer's family. His father was a farmer. His mother died at very young age. He worked to earn living by splitting wood for fire and the railways. Next is Charlie Chaplin. He was also abandoned by his father, but he was brought up by his mother, and afterwards he became great personality. Kalpana Chawla. She was a village girl born in Karnal and also studied in a village school. But all of you know she was a great astronaut. This you have to do as a homework. Student, look at the second question. Syllable. A syllable is a unit of pronunciation that has one vowel sound and may or may not have consonant sound before or after it. Student, vowel. A, E, I, O, U. These alphabets are called as vowels. All of you look at the example over here. One syllable. See there, A is given, vowel. I, C. Means in the word SEEC, E is repeated twice. But the pronunciation of E is once. So it comes in one syllable. At, on, man, with, thread. In thread, which is the vowel sound? E. Two syllables. Mother. O is there. E is also there in mother. Both the vowels. Seated. E and A. Giraffe. I, A. E pronunciation is not there. So it comes in two syllables. Parrot. A, O. Active. A, I. E sound is not there. Though there are three syllables, but it comes in two. Three vowels are there, but it comes in two syllables. So understood, more than three syllables we will see here. Some words are given consequently. Means in this more than three consonant sounds or vowel sounds are used. Encouragement, responsibility, identifying, encyclopedia. Now students, look here. English workshop. Arrange the following set of words in alphabetical order in your notebook. Everyone mark it as a homework. You have to write it in alphabetical order. Next, remove the affix, means prefix or suffix, and write the root word. Root word means the original word. First is successful. Children, FUL. Suffix is added. Suffix means when we add something after the word, it is called as suffix. Prefix means, I will give you the example. See their third word, retrace. RE is added. Pre means first only is added to the word. It is called as prefix. So we have to remove this suffix and prefix, and in the dash over there we have to write down original word. First answer, remove FUL and write there success. Second, in second, immediately, remove LY, write there immediate. Third, retrace, remove RE, write down there trace. Next is mouser, remove ER, write there mouse, remove R only, write there mouse. Next is unfriendly, UN you remove and write over there friendly. Fallen, EN remove, write there fall. Unkind, UN remove, write there kind. Wooden, EN remove, write there wood. Luckily, ILY remove it and write the word luck. Belonging, in that write the answer belong, ING you remove. Now see next, find from the story one word for the following. A small room just below a sloping roof. Answer is attic. Note down the answer, attic. A very narrow passage between the buildings or behind the buildings. Write the answer, alley. the highest ranking officer in municipality of a city or town? Write the answer mayor. Highest ranking official who commands a ship? Write the answer captain. Any animal that catches the mice? Right there, cat. A low constant sound made by cats. What does the cat make a sound? Purr. P-U-R-R. Next, make sentences of your own. Right there, homework. The meanings I have given you of overcome, put up with, bargain. So you just make the sentences of your own. Rearrange the following events. The story you have understood. So these sentences are jumbled. According to the story, you arrange them and write the numbers here. Which sentence will come first, which is the second. In these boxes, you write down. Think and answer. That also personal response question. Write it as a homework. Next, break the words below into syllables as shown in the first one. Belonging, B-E. Children see, E is the vowel. Long, O is the vowel. I-N-G, I is the vowel. So they have broke this into 3 syllables. Next, morning. What will come in that? In the word morning. Next word. In the word morning, M-O-R-N. Morn will come. And I-N-G. Next, unfriendly. In that, U-N. U is the vowel. Next, friend. Then dash and L-Y. So understood how to split this into syllables? That is also your homework. Now see there down, degree of comparison. Positive, comparative, superlative. First word is great. In comparative you write the answer greater. And superlative you write greatest. Then famous. Right there, more famous. And third column, most famous. Easy, easier, easiest. Bad, worse, worst. Poor, poorer, poorest. Lazy, lazier, laziest. Little, less, least. Worthy, worthier, worthiest. Popular, more popular, and most popular. So understood everyone? That will be your homework. So let's wind up this session. Everybody note down this homework in your notebook. Homework is warming up, English workshop, make sentences, rearrange the events of the story, think and answer, break the words below into syllables, and degree of comparison. Noted? Remove the suffix and prefix. Note down these answers. We had already orally discussed this. I have highlighted the prefix and suffix, and answer is written. The original word is written. Break the words into syllables. See how we have done into syllables. Note down this also in your notebook. Degree of comparison, the last question. Answers are given here. We had orally discussed this. Just write down in your notebook and complete the notes. So this is the end of our second chapter. Next time we will meet with 1.3 Pilgrim poem. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Goodbye, students.